What up YouTube, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be taking you all through my shoulder day. Love training shoulders. Highly recommend having a dedicated shoulder day if you really want to maximize your shoulder growth. I used to throw in shoulders at the end of a chest day, at the end of a back day, and it put on some size, but the second that I actually started dedicating a full day to shoulders, they blew up. Now, what I mean by having a dedicated shoulder day is mainly isolating the side and rear delts. I do think that training chest, especially incline chest or upper chest, you are gonna get a lot of front delt activation. So breakdown for the shoulder workout, 4 sets of front delt, 8 for side and 8 for rear. So it's mainly side and rear delt day, but we do still isolate that front delt a little bit. I highly recommend, really honing in on those side and rear delts if you want to have a perfectly sculpted, rounded shoulder. Being that the rear delt is a small muscle group, I always start with rear delts just to maximize the growth in them. And that way my shoulders, like if this is my front delt and this is my rear, I hate seeing them slope down. I want them to be a nice, full, almost like a globe kind of look. But after I'm done showing you guys my pre-workout and intra, we'll head over to the gym and I'll get to showing you guys what I do for some shoulders. But before we get there, I am gonna show you what I take before I step foot into the gym, as well as what I take while I'm actually in the gym. So I'm gonna start off by showing you guys my pre-workout. For pre-workout right now, I'm just using the raw essential pre. I'm using the raspberry creamsicle flavor. Now, I didn't say it like that on accident. It's actually called creamsicle. I think it's very funny how they have that, on their brands to kind of joke around with Chris Bumstead. I think it's great. But yeah, I do about a scoop of the essential pre-workout. It's got about 200 milligrams of caffeine, which is more than enough. I really don't like to have too high stim. In addition to that, 4 grams of L-citrulline, which is the main pump ingredient in this pre. A little on the lower end, but it blends well, tastes amazing, and I'm gonna repeat the first one. It blends well, and in my opinion, a pre-workout that blends well and doesn't leave any clumpy mess at the bottom is a good pre-workout. I hate having all those ingredients at the bottom not getting, digested and consumed, because to be honest, those are probably the ingredients that actually benefit the most in the gym. But that's pre. I'm gonna start sipping on that in about a minute. Now my intra workout, I got about a half-gallon jug right here. I don't fill it completely to the top, but in the intra workout, I do 1 scoop of essential amino acids. All essential amino acids do is help with muscle recovery, and why not start recovering the muscle during the freaking workout? Why wait until after? So essential amino acids for intra workout muscle recovery also makes the water taste pretty tasty. I mean, this flavor is probably not going to be liked by many people, but banana pineapple, you do get used to it. Not a bad flavor. In addition to the EAAs, I put not a scoop, a pinch of pink Himalayan sea salt. This is a 0-calorie way to advance your pump in the gym. I think I mentioned this on my first video back on the channel when I trained some arms. Being that I'm on a cut right now, I'm trying to maximize the pump in the gym. And, that could be a little harder on a deficit because your carbs aren't as high. But sodium will help with blood flow, will help you get a nasty pump in the gym for freaking 0 calories. Once the bulk starts, we will be putting in a scoop of Gatorade powder just to add some intra carbs, just to jack up the carbs for the day. But for right now, sodium it is. Now, today is special. Today I am going to have a little bit of intra carbs for no other reason than the fact that I can fit it in my calories. And I will show you that in just a second. I just want to mix this up real quick. Intra carbs today, I found these little glucose tablets at my local CVS. And I was looking at the ingredients, 60 calories, 15 grams of sugar, and the sugar is from dextrose. Now, all these supplement companies sell like cluster dextrin. It's like a carb powder. This is all it freaking is. It was $1 for 2.5 servings of this. So this will be good, like $1 worth, like $1 for about 2.5 workouts, 3 workouts for some Intra carbs. Literally just pure sugar. I'm gonna pop 4 of these tablets, kind of snack on them throughout the workout. You know, if I have 4 tablets for the serving, I might just have 1 tablet before each muscle group. 1 tablet before front, 1 tablet before side, 2 tablets before rear, or however, whatever. But just kind of pumping in some carbs throughout the workout just to advance the pump. Now, I probably talked about this earlier, but the glycemic index of carbs do affect how they react in the body. Now, sugar is the fastest reacting and fastest digesting carb, so you're going to see the added pump of this so much faster than if you were like eating a potato mid-workout, because that's gonna take longer to digest. It's gonna feel like shit in your stomach, but something sugary like this, same concept with the Rice Krispie treat or honey, just a sugary carb to, you know, pump as much glycogen into those muscles during your workout. But hope you guys all liked my little pre-workout stack, intro workout stack. And without any further ado, I will see you guys in the gym for some shoulders. All right, what's up guys? So I'm starting off my shoulder workout with some rear delt pec deck flies, as you see me doing right here. Now, going into any sort of rear delt movement, I automatically like to just go a bit lighter. Typically, I shoot for between 8 and 12 reps for every muscle group, but rear delt specifically, I like to shoot for about 15 to 20. Now, the reasoning for this is that the rear delt is a very small muscle group, and if you go too heavy on it, there are a lot of bigger muscles around it that will start to take over. So if my rear delts are getting really, really tired, my upper back and traps are going to be the ones to start taking over, and my rear delts really aren't going to be doing any of the work. So I'd rather go a bit lighter and really just emphasize every single rep for the rear delts rather than my traps and upper back taking over. Now, I know we moved over to some face pulls, but one other thing I wanted to say about the rear delt pec deck flies is that I really try to protract my scapula or really push my shoulders forward. That way I can target my rear delts even more. But after the reverse pec deck, I'm moving over to some rope face pulls right now. And as you see, I'm actually laying on a bench to perform these. And the reasoning is that when I stand, I find that I'm fighting gravity a lot of the times where the weight is just pulling me forward and I'm not able to keep that tension on my rear delts. So laying on the bench, your whole entire body weight now is going against that stack weight, and you don't really have to fight gravity as much, and you could just target and focus on your rear delts more than kind of finding your balance. But I did 4 sets of pec deck flies and then 4 sets of the face pulls, and now I'm moving over into my first front delt movement. So for the first front delt movement today, I decided to do a machine shoulder press. I typically like to do dumbbell shoulder press, but when I was warming up on dumbbells, they didn't feel the greatest today. My stability just felt a little out of whack. So being that the stability wasn't feeling the best, I went over to the machine because there really is no stability on a machine. You kind of just press the handles up and it's on a track. So if you ever feel like your stability is a little funky one day, don't be afraid to go to a machine. But yeah, it felt really nice today. I did 2 sets of about 8 to 10 over there on the full stack, so I was pretty happy with that. Still being pretty strong on the one of the last shoulder workouts of the cut. But after 2 sets of machine press, I moved over into some dumbbell front raises. I typically don't like to do front raises, but for some reason today I just felt like doing them, and I'm pretty happy I did. This voiceover is actually a week after this shoulder workout, but it's just traveling a lot. But I remember being pretty sore in the front delt region, and I do think it's because of these front raises. Now you could see these reps are a bit weird. You know, you see me doing one arm each time, like 1 rep on each side, and then you see me kind of spamming a few extra on one side and spamming a few extra on the other side. And honestly, I was just kind of taking a little bit of a brutish kind of training style for this, you know, just really trying to feel the pump. And sometimes, you know, having that brutish style training is the best that you can do. You know what I mean? Like, you know, having form focused and, you know,
really counting each rep is very important. You know, there is definitely a lot of benefit, but sometimes just kind of letting it rip and just really just pumping as much blood into the muscle as possible will also give you a great workout. And not for nothing, honestly, doing a few extra reps on the left side and then moving over to the right side just amplified the pump even more, being that each side didn't have a chance to rest. They were kind of just constantly getting that blood being pumped. But enough front delt raise talk. We actually just moved over into some side delts. But yeah, that was it for front. Now moving over to the side delt portion of the shoulder day. I start off with some pretty heavy dumbbell side raises. I believe I got the 35s in each hand right here. And I take these to absolute failure. I honestly don't even count. You know, I pick a weight that feels pretty comfortable, and you know, I'll do as many full reps as possible, and then I'll even do a few partials after just to flood the muscle with even more blood. But after those side raises, I did a quick pump check just because the pump was feeling really nice. But after the double arm side raises, I actually do some single arm dumbbell side raises as well, just to, you know, focus on each side a little bit more. You know, not that, you know, my right side is getting any more work than my left side when I do them together, but I do like performing single arm movements, whether it's for legs, arms, chest, just so that I can really emphasize each side. But yeah, I'll do as many reps as I can with the left and then try to match that with the right. But anyway, that was my full shoulder workout. I hope you guys all enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time. Peace out, like and subscribe if you liked the video.